Have you subscribed to our newsletter? If you haven't, please do so today. In fact, you can do so right now. Why do you need to subscribe to our newsletter? It's because you will get to receive quite a number of things that will help you in your Christian walk, encourage you in your faith. What are these I'm talking about? You get to receive the daily devotion. You also get to receive the latest Christian news. It's good to know what's happening within Christian circles, not just locally, but also across the globe. Some of those stories will inspire you. Some of those stories will ignite a passion in you when you realize what other Christians in various parts of the world are going through or what they're doing, even as we await the return of our Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ. So you get Christian news, also articles to provoke your thinking, articles to encourage you in your faith, articles to build you up, and also podcasts. You will also get to know more about our programs here on Family TV and Family Radio 316, an exclusive behind-the-scenes information and updates on family media. So, if you haven't subscribed and you want to subscribe right now, log on to www.familynews.today/newsletter and subscribe, or you can simply send your email address via SMS right now, and we will do it for you. Send your email address on 20316. We will get you subscribed. Tuesday morning, wazazi, it is time for us to have our weekly parenting conversation. Kama kawaida, muvute stool na kiti karibu na TV, karibu na radio, because we have important things we want to talk about. One of the concerns that we have in this generation is addictions. Our young people are getting addicted at a very early age because of what they are exposed to, and it should be a concern to us as parents. And so this morning we are talking about teens and addictions. In studio with me, I have a youth and teen mentor, Bwana Douglas Angogo. How are you doing, sir?
I'm doing well.
Good to have you.
Thank you.
Awesome.
Happy New Year.
Yeah, Happy New Year.
Happy
it is still
Valentine's.
happy. Happy New Year and Happy Valentine's.
Yes.
All right.
Yeah.
Next month, strongest Happy Easter.
Happy Easter, yes. True. Asante, glad to be here.
Awesome.
Yeah.
I'm just curious, Douglas. When we talk about teens and addictions, because there are quite a number of addictions,
Yes,
in your work as you talk to the youth and the teens and as you mentor them, what are some of the main addictions you see amongst our teenagers?
Just like you mentioned, addiction is really becoming one of the challenges that teens are facing. But this thing does not just arise maybe like during the teenagehood.
Okay.
It's a process. Most of the things that teenagers are being addicted to right now, based on how I interact with them and know, is addiction to social media, and then addiction to negative sexual orientation, and that is masturbation and pornography.
Yes.
And then you have addiction to drugs has become less, but it's not part of them.
Okay.
But drugs have become one of the less addicted substances. Yeah. Yeah, people are going online. So what they can't find physically, they now go and do it on online.
Ooh.
Yeah, so we have social media addiction. We have negative sexual behavior, like pornography and masturbation. And then there's one that is cropping up, addiction to secular music.
Oh.
Music becomes also part of it.
That's an addiction as well.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yes.
What about alcohol?
Alcohol addiction falls under substance abuse, which is said is not really rampant among the young people, but it's part of addiction.
Okay.
Yes.
I find that very interesting.
Yeah.
Because there was a time alcohol and drugs was the big one.
Yes, yes.
So basically what you're telling me is social media, the internet has changed.
Yes, changed everything. And the trends and the popular culture.
Okay.
Yes.
Social media addiction.
Yeah.
Should that be a concern? You know, it's not like alcohol or drugs where you actually see how it's affecting somebody. For some of us parents, our assumption would be as long as they have their gadget and they have Wi-Fi, they're okay. Wamenyamaza, wametulia, wasumbui mtu, wako kwa kona mahali, and they're in the house. So we assume it's a good thing.
Yeah. It's
But
not.
is it a good thing? What are some of the things that are coming out of social media addiction?
Social media has really taken over our teenagers.
Okay.
And like I said, not from teenagers, but everyone, even from as long as they can understand Cocomelon, it become an addiction.
Cocomelon.
Cocomelon are cartoons for young people, toddlers. I
need to upgrade my program.
Please upgrade, yeah. So I have 4 years old and 8 years old in the house.
Yeah.
But I discover that sometimes we think that addiction to social media is when they are watching or from the age of maybe 11 upwards. But I discover that even my 8 years and 4 years old, sometimes they can be on phone.
Yeah.
And when you take it away from them, they start crying.
Yes.
Yeah. And that means what they were watching has really put them onto that gadget.
Yeah.
So addiction, social media has become one of the greatest tools that the enemy is using to really get off our young people into being active and productive. Like you're saying, for alcohol, you'll be able to see. But what about social media? How are you able to identify that this guy is addicted? Like I said, the first thing is when you take it away from them, how do they behave? When that internet, I was telling someone that when they're on phone and the whole day there's no power, probably that there's no power in the house.
Yeah.
How do they behave?
Yes.
Will they be active? You'll notice something inside them.
Can they even interact socially?
Can even interact socially. So when you get it away from them, when you get off that gadget, how does that person behave? So that's one way to identify they're addicted.
Okay.
Secondly, try to ask yourself that what do they find themselves doing more? What the first thing that your teenager does when they wake up in the morning? I have known of teenagers who will be cooking and the phone is here.
Anapika na simu iko hapa.
Anapika na simu iko hapa. That's a sign of addiction. Yeah. So social media for me, I think it's become a tool that the devil is using. There's a time we were talking with a young lady who, because social media is not just going there and posting something.
No.
It is going there and also finding what has been posted.
Yes, just getting lost in that content.
In that context.
Yes.
Now, one problem is if you're addicted to social media, sometimes it drills your self-esteem. Because when you post something on social media, no one will like it.
Yeah.
And unless wale umambia, but then you may post kitu.
Yeah.
So that guy will just like it because Jimo ameniambia. Now if you get only 2 likes out of the 24 hours, and then someone posted that 30 minutes ago he has 100 likes.
Same thing. They posted the same thing.
Same thing. Picture tu vile umepiga post yako. So what happens is this person become low self-esteem, they feel like they have no identity, and then now they close up.
In fact, I was going to ask you, is there a connection between social media addiction and mental health issues, which are becoming quite a concern amongst our young people?
I'll give an example of a young lady we were talking to sometimes back with my wife, and she had a problem.
Okay.
So she told us that I've been listening to this person. Like I said, you don't only post on social media, you also consume.
Yes.
So she was like, I've been listening to this person, because you see, social media is a big platform.
Yeah.
We have music there, we have celebrities, we have all these people.
everything.
Yeah. So it's for her, she was not like posting or TikToking and all that. For her, she was going to social media and looking for this person, this musician. And this musician is a secular musician with a very weird name and weird music. This lady is born again.
Yeah.
So she's listening to this music, and the music now, like I was saying, is a part of addiction. Social media draws her to the music.
Yes.
She become addicted to this music and listen to the lyrics from this music until she want to do what this music says. Now, this guy is talking about suicide. Most of his songs are about suicide. So suicide, committing suicide, and he died out of committing suicide. So his songs are being replayed. So this lady, she tells her, know what? I think I hate people. I don't trust anyone. I don't need friends around me.
What?
I feel like no one loves me, and I feel like I don't need to live. Mental problems. So she said she's been contemplating committing suicide. Why?
Oh my goodness.
What she's listening to.
What she's listening to.
So at the end of it is social media exposes us to many things. Not only people that we see, but also what they do. So at the end of it, we discover that music is one of the greatest tools that also can be used to keep our teenagers off track. Because music will change without your knowledge.
Yeah.
So like for her now, she's like, me, I think I don't care about anyone
It's like
else.
the music has reprogrammed her and she doesn't
Yes.
even realize it.
So she's like me, I don't care about life. I just feel like I need to commit suicide also like this guy. And she said she has sold her soul to this person. That's what music does. And even you have celebrities or people who, you see when you go to social media and you find people that you're following up, some of them are not the right people. So what do you do? Everything that this guy does, you want to do it.
You want to copy.
You want to copy it.
Yes.
So that pressure. If you don't match it, you go ahead and do something different.
Wow.
Yeah.
Dr. Isaac Masinde is asking, yani pasi ujui Cocomelon? Sijui. My last born is 16 years. She's not watching Cocomelon. That's why I don't know.
Yeah.
But there's something you've mentioned,
Yeah.
Douglas, that I think is very important, because our teenagers are consistently listening to something. I mean, just look at teenagers around.
Yeah, yeah.
Whether they're hanging out, they're alone, their ears always have,
Earphones.
either they have headphones or they've plugged in something in there.
Yeah, yeah.
And they're always listening to something.
Yeah.
And for us parents, because they look peaceful, hawasumbui mtu, we assume they are okay. But we never ask ourselves, what are they listening to? And then the other danger is we are so out of touch with the kind of secular music that is being produced today. Me, sometimes I happen to listen to music in a matatu, you know, or I'm in a shop somewhere and some music is playing, or I am in an Uber, and I cringe because I'm thinking, this is what people sing about today.
Yeah, yeah.
It's madness.
It's not music. It's not secular. It's lust. They just it's nudity.
It's
porn.
yes,
it's pornography
in music form.
Yes. One thing that we need to look is saying parents are like, he's on earphones.
Nasikia hizo mziki zake.
Let me say this, and this is a very big concern, Pastor Jemo.
Yeah.
There's a question that Adam was asked by God, and both and Eve, in the book of Genesis chapter 3.
Yeah.
Where are you? And most parents will always ask their kids, uko wapi? Umefika saa ngapi na bado hujafika nyumbani? So you're concerned about their physical location. Where are they? But none of us as parents, we're able to ask our teenagers or ask our children, where are you in terms of your Christian walk? So the where are you is always a physical location.
Yeah.
Like kitambo ukika uko home and then your mom is like, hey, it's already 7. She'll ask you, where are you? But that where you should be, where is my teenager in terms of her morality, her character?
Yes.
Which she's listening to. One of the challenges that now parents are, one of the things that parents are not doing is we're not looking at what our teenagers are watching. Are you able to just pick that phone and watch or listen to that music? Because for that lady who said that she has sold her soul to that musician, she has a phone. But how often do we check our phones?
Our phones.
We only check where they are physically.
We don't want to infringe on their privacy.
That's what we say.
Yeah, some of us parents don't even enter our children's room.
There's a parent who mentioned to me some time back that when the daughter went to school, she forgot something. So she had to go and pick that thing for the daughter and take it to school. So she had to go to the daughter's bedroom. So she was checking where she can find the forgotten item. And she bumped into some sticky notes. Those sticky notes were written to her by friends in school, wishing her happy birthday. But she bumped into one that made her feel like falling down. Now one of the sticky notes was written to her in terms of like a love letter. And it's a girl's school.
Ooh.
That's what I mean. Are we able to access our young or teenagers, our most teenagers' rooms, and just try to see what are they sticking on their wall? What are the stickers that they're having in the briefcase? What is the latest music they're listening to? Because for this mother discovered that my daughter is at a risk. If these letters are being sent to her and nothing is done, she can succumb to it. And that's what I'm saying. As parents, are we so busy that we can't take time and just tell our daughters, can I listen to that music? Like books. What book am I reading right now? If your daughter is reading a notebook or a novel, pre-read.
Are our children reading books nowadays?
They don't.
Do they read novels?
They don't. But the problem is, the books they read online.
Aha.
Yes.
Okay.
So she tell you, Dad, I'm reading a book. It's a nice book. The title, How to Become a Great Teenager. That's only the surface. Go deeper.
Go deeper.
It's not that.
Go deeper, Papa.
Go deeper. So I think we allow our teenagers to be addicted because we like, and you see this thing happen. You go home and your teenager is asking you questions. Or even my 8 years old. So I feel I'm tired. So what do? Chukua simu ndio hiyo.
Yeah.
So phone becomes a way of me communicating to her. So I've given her the phone so that I can rest out. So these teenagers will be like, when I go home, Mom gives me a phone.
You know, the other day, a friend of mine, Alvan. Alvan posted something on TikTok. Alvan is a comedian. He posted something on TikTok. It's one of the serious posts I've ever seen from him. Usually, he's just making jokes.
Yeah. I'll go check.
But he posted something and he said, he likes talking to the government. Let's say government.
Yes.
So he was talking to the government and he was saying the government needs to be concerned, basically addressing our leaders. They need to be concerned about what is happening on TikTok Kenya.
True.
And he said, lately I have just been on TikTok Kenya and our young people are very toxic. The videos that young people are putting out, the content, you know, when people go live, especially Jioni, the kind of things people are talking about, the kind of things people are saying, and not TikTok ni teenagers.
Yeah.
He said it is so toxic. If we don't do something now, there's a bomb that's going to hit us.
Yeah. And not that parents are not aware, they're aware.
Oh, parents are aware?
They are aware.
Oh.
There are parents also on TikTok. Like you're saying, you see, we take it casual. But the enemy is not taking everything casual. We must be very vigilant because we are like, it's a way of life.
Yeah, it's the way of life now.
It's the season.
Yeah.
You see, we have what we call deception. Deception is whereby we try to change the truth and make it, it's a normal thing. Hata dance kwa TikTok kama una shake your buttocks, it's still okay.
That's the one that gets the most likes.
Yeah, but you see, it's not okay.
It's not.
It's not okay.
Yeah. But the other thing I've seen that's really being pushed on TikTok is nakedness is becoming common amongst our young people. Yeah. It is no longer a big deal.
You see, parents are failing.
What you consume, you become.
And you see, you're not different from what you post.
Yes.
Because you don't post out of your mind. You post when your mind is alert.
Yeah.
And they don't know that whatever they post on social media will be used against them.
I'm telling you.
Because when you post anything on social media, when it leaves you, ukisha click OK, it doesn't belong to you.
They say the internet never forgets.
And it belongs to someone else.
Parenting Tuesday, teens and addiction, zeroing in on social media addiction, sexual orientation addiction, and also matters secular music. Those are the three big things amongst our teenagers. I'm surprised drugs and alcohol have taken a dip because they're so busy on social media, they have no time to go and look for drugs. No. They want social media and they're getting something out of this. Social media in itself is like a drug. Wazazi, sioni maswali. Kama hamna maswali mtupatie majibu. Sisi tuko na maswali. Yeah, if you have teenagers or even if you don't have teenagers, ask questions. Ask questions as we talk to youth and teen mentor Douglas Angogo. You know, Douglas, I was just thinking about one of the things like a platform like TikTok has been able to do is to popularize certain songs.
And content.
Yes, because I've seen that. There are songs I have known, but I only know the chorus. Because I had them on TikTok, because it was the background music to a video I was watching.
Yes.
And so you realize so many people have made their videos with this music. So you know the song, and sometimes the curiosity makes you go and look for the whole song. And some of those songs, you listen to the words and what they're saying, and you wonder, what kind of madness is this? What kind of world are we living in today? But I think one of the deceptions we have believed is that music is just music. It's entertainment. It doesn't really affect people's lives. But I'm sure you have a different story as you talk to teens.
Like you said, you see, that's what the enemy does. We are giving you a 30 seconds clip on a music that will give you the desire to go and look for the whole clip. Now, when I open the whole clip right now, I get the whole content in that song, which is not good. Like you're saying, music, we really assume that music is just some words and
Yeah.
some sounds
Yeah.
and some drums. Music is more than just the tones and the words being sung. Because behind every music, there's a worship.
Yeah.
And there's a spirit to be worshipped. Sorry. So anytime I listen to that music, then that thing that we're going to change in me. If I'm listening to a secular music, let's say I'm listening to a song that talks about probably maybe violence and probably disobedience and all that. Yeah. What happens is that music. You see, the three things we have: what we call repetition.
Yeah.
As I listen to it every time. When you have what we call commitment, then I decide to listen to it and then from there we have what we call changing me. It changes you. So anytime I listen to that music, then everything I knew, whether it is the right thing, it started becoming a wrong thing.
Yeah.
I buy into that deception because music will change me without my knowledge.
Yes.
We hear people who listen to some music and they start talking like those people.
Yeah, they start talking like,
So if the music is talking about maybe sex, this guy will be talking more language of sex.
Yes.
The music is talking about probably violence, that I don't care who say what. This guy start becoming rebellious.
If the music is full of cuss words.
Cuss words, this guy will have.
That one is so common.
Yeah. When the music about all the nudes, this guy start dressing the same way because music changes the way you dress, the way you speak, and the way the things you do. So we need to be very careful with the type of music our teenagers are listening to.
Yeah.
It is not just entertainment.
No.
Because nowadays we don't have love songs, we have lust songs.
Ooh, that's a big one.
There is nothing about love that's being expressed in that music.
Yeah.
What they're telling me is we can still engage into sex even if you don't have a physical or a one-night stand. So these guys consume the content. Now, after consuming the content, someone said that sexual perversion comes in a package. Why? Because before I commit or I get into pornography or masturbation, there's a consummation I've taken here. So someone who is masturbating, you go back, find this guy has been pornography.
Yes.
Why? Because it's a package. This person, before he get pornography, what has he been listening to? So the music will draw these people from what they see, they start practicing it, and then they get themselves into the same content.
It's like you keep graduating.
Graduating.
Yeah.
So I normally tell people that the best thing you can do for you to avoid addiction is don't start.
Don't start.
Just a quick one. When you go to these big malls in Nairobi, there are two things. You either use an elevator or you use the staircases. Now, the staircases, you have control over where you're going.
Yeah.
And you can go back, pause, or probably navigate around. Now, when you get into the elevator, the moment you put your leg on it, you lose control. The elevator controls
the escalator.
The escalator, the one that now takes you. The moment you put your first foot on it, you don't have control over where you're going.
In fact, I've seen videos of people falling.
There's a lady who fell down a limit step na kakufa to you.
What?
A young teenager. Why? So that's what happened to addiction. Even music. The moment you just start, you see it coming the pop.
Yeah.
So you are watching something and then there's a pop that came there, that 30 seconds, you say, let me listen to it. Then you say, hey, 30 seconds are not enough, let me go for 1 minute.
Yeah.
The moment you put your leg on that, you say it's an escalator. You don't have control.
Yeah.
That's what music does.
Wow. Comments coming in this morning. Moses from Manyata. You say, God told Adam, since you also listened to your wife. So what we listen to matters a lot. Okay.
Oh, yeah, true.
Yeah, John Givanga in Nakuru, social media has become an obsession among the youth. There are youths who compare themselves with popular music artists and other public figures, hence making them feel nondescript and unworthy. Very, very true. However, do you think the government is capable of mitigating this online moral decline among social media consumers? That's a conversation I was having with a friend of mine who's in IT. And he was saying he thinks the government actually can. There are countries where some of these social media sites have been banned.
They can, because we have what to call the online social media addiction and abuse. And that there are mitigations measures. We have things like Child Fund, who are trying to really help young people to see what are they consuming online and how are they responding, because some of them are innocent. So he uses his mom or dad's phone and then a pop comes in, then he replies,
takes you into
and then from there they were like, send me this video. And you see, we have poverty. Some of the teenagers get in this thing because of poverty. Why? Because there's someone who has told them, you know what, when you post for me this picture, I'll be able to
I'll pay you.
pay you.
Yeah, I'll pay
So
you.
what happens? They have to do that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Very, very true.
Yeah.
Very true. Can the church have social media addiction programs like rehab?
It's possible. The challenge that you have, Jemo, is you see, as youth or teens, pastors and mentors, let us be very careful not to really incorporate everything that looks like. We're trying to fit into the current teenager, but the gospel does not change. So instead of us giving them the truth and helping them to differentiate between the gospel and the culture that they're in, sit now fit in the culture. Hey, says it says back up party music in beats, and some of these music they're like gospel, but they're not gospel. So there's a gospel song that has some beats of secular. Yeah. Okay, now those who are born again, all the 90s, we have things like Shabarang. Yes. Things like Bob Marley and those tunes. So those tunes are playing in the background, but this guy is mentioning Yesu Ndani. But you see, the music is really changing whatever you know. So one of the is gospel song, but still gospel song. And as like you're saying, the churches, we really need to be very careful as a church that our program for the teenagers should not fit into the current situation. Very, very true. We're supposed to really make sure that we don't conform to the patterns of this world, but we be transformed. Whatever they're listening to, us to counter it to the truth of the Word of God. And I think that's sometimes where the problem is, because from my perspective, social media is not really the problem. Yeah, it's not the problem. Because the people who created social media gave us a blank canvas, and they gave you the opportunity to have your own media house. I look at social media as a private media house. Private because it's yours, but you broadcast to the public. And I think sometimes as believers, we shy away from these things until we get to the place where we are now, where so much evil is out there. It's not the social media that's bad. It's the content that's being put there. And we as believers are not putting in enough of the good stuff. And also, just like everything else, we are not teaching moderation. Because as much as we can talk about social media, some of our children are addicted to eating and food. That's still bad. So everything has to be done in moderation, you know. So I think it's an opportunity for us to look at the situation and ask ourselves. In fact, I was going to ask, before I ask you that, maybe you can answer this parent, because I've deliberately chosen not to install TikTok in a bid to minimize social media disruption. Listening to you and the impact it has on our teens, as a parent, would you advise I to install TikTok for monitoring? What a dilemma. I think that's the dilemma. Because as parents, you see, whether we like it or not, that's the reality our children are being born in. Our children will access and open accounts in these platforms without our knowledge. So what do? Do we go in there so that we know what's happening in there and advise them? Or do we put our heads in the sand? You see, like you said, social media is a private media that I need to use it. But you see, as I'm using it, we have many people there. Someone mentioned that we have TikTok Kenya and then TikTok Christian. I think there's different TikToks. There's one that if you do hashtag Christian, you get Christian content. So it means that, like you say, social media is not bad. Sisi ndo wabaya. Because we are not using it for effective ministry or gospel. Or even teaching. I've seen people who are using TikTok, but they desire to go to TikTok. But I want to go to TikTok. But I've seen people on TikTok, they use it to pass a message that is relevant, that is going to change someone's life. I've seen parents go on TikTok and they pass parenting messages to their fellow parents, and they even pass messages to the young people. So you being on TikTok, like you said, is not really like, it's not an evil place. Sisi ndo evil, because see that thing, like you see, if you're on Facebook, you can use it positively or negatively. So if you want to join TikTok, like I say, you can get to it or install it. But like you're saying, why? Sometimes if you're going to look for monitoring, then you can be monitored. You can get traps. So be careful that you can get sucked into the madness. So where is your heart? Are you doing it because you want just to curiosity, like you said? And if it's curiosity, sometimes we don't really land with the right things under curiosity. So if being off TikTok gives you peace, like I say, don't try it. If you're not sure, don't try it. Find there are people
There are people like my friend Evelyn Cassina, you know, who are into this online space. And they have programs for parents and they can give you information. In fact, Evelyn is always sending me messages on what's the latest. This is the latest thing young people are doing. Watch out for this. Don't watch this kind of movies. You know, she gives parents information. Look for Evelyn Cassina on social media.
Oh,
she has got great information. She'll be able to help you. Before we run out of time, because our time is almost up, what would you tell parents to do if, baby, I recognize that my son, my daughter, my teenager is addicted to social media or is addicted to some of these sexual perversions because of the exposure they get online? What can a parent do?
You see, addiction is like it's described like a chronic brain disease that cannot be treated, but can be controlled. Can be controlled, okay. So the best thing to do is, if you identify that the thing is, find time and talk to this young person. Don't confront them. Yes. Don't throw away their phone. The challenge you have, Pastor Jemo, is these teenagers will not ask or want their parents to know they're doing on social media. I've handled many cases of addiction, especially pornography, and they'll tell you that before we tell dad and mom, you help me first. But as usual, a parent will notice a change or there's some behaviors in their teenagers that indicates addiction. Even the way they dress. Because sometimes addiction comes rebellious. They're rebellious, Some of them won't want even you to access their phones. Like being too much on phone. It's an addiction. Even it has a problem to parents, even after wazazi 24/7. When you notice that is, try to moderate. As a parent, why do you allow your teenager to have their phones past 10 in the night? I always advise parents that make sure that phone still belongs to you. You're the one who bought it. So make sure that teenager will access that phone when you give an okay. There's a parent I know, Mama Ruthie, I think she might be listening. She gives her teenager a phone to use maybe on various occasions, come out to corner meetings or online, but at what time is a meeting? So she monitors that phone and gives us access. Then after that, may lock. So if your daughter or your teenager is addicted on any negative sexual orientation, music, talk to them. But the best thing is they won't speak out until you refer them to a mentor or a counselor. Yes. Wow. And look for help. Sometimes for some of us parents, it's difficult to have some of these conversations with our own children. So sometimes it's good to, if you're part of a church, if you're part of a community, come together as parents and do something together. It becomes easier. But something must be done. And we can't wait for somebody else to do it. We have to do it ourselves. And it must be done now. It must be done now, and it must begin. Just a quick one. In the homes. There's a teenager who said the reason why they don't even report this thing to their parents because, one, their parents don't trust them. So their parents will be like, it's you who started it. Maybe someone is bullying them online or sending them suggestive messages. And their teen is like, Mom, see this person. So the teens are afraid because their parents will not trust them in terms of their reporting. They'll tell them that you are the one who is doing this. Number two, their parents are always busy. So there's no intentional parenting. So what happens is these teenagers are afraid because mom is always busy. So why should I tell mom? So I think parents, we must be available to our teenagers. Very, very true. Interesting comment as I finish this one. You haven't given me your name. It's your first time to message. You say TikTok. It is controlled by an algorithm. The country and area where TikTok was created, the content that the teens access in that country is very constructive and very educational and very upright. By the way, that's very true. TikTok China is very different from TikTok the rest of the world. There are certain content the young people cannot access. Yes, what they access is only educational and to build them up. And so this lady is saying there's another algorithm for the other countries where now it's just bad content that will not help our children in any way. Let's do away with it and go back to books like in the 90s. That would be nice. Going back to reading books. Wazazi, addictions za siku hizi si kama za kitambo. Addictions za siku hizi, they can be right underneath your nose and you don't even recognize it. They're in the sitting room. Yes, they will manifest later. And most of it is online, what they are watching and what they are listening to.
and what they're exposing themselves to. So let's be vigilant. Let's work with our children. It's an area we don't know much about because we are learning it as our children learn it as well. And their pace is faster than ours. So we have quite a bit of catching up to do. But let's not bury our heads in the sand. Let's be involved in our lives. Wazazi nimemaliza. Our time is up for today.
That's true.
Douglas needs to go and minister to some youth somewhere.
Amen.
Thank you for coming.
I appreciate.
Salimia Njambi.
And Salimia, thank you for your time.
Yes.
And for parents, all is not lost.
Yes.
We can redeem.
We can redeem the time.
Yeah.
Until next week for another session on Parenting Tuesday, God bless you.
Thank you for watching. Remember, subscribe to our YouTube channel so that you can get notified whenever we upload new fresh content every day. Stay tuned and enjoy fresh, uplifting content.